这个机场直升机起降真的很频繁。
Hey, welcome aboard. Can everybody hear me in the back seat here? Okay. My name is Bogard. I'd like you to, right now, to check your belts, make sure it's all fastened. Just to review on how to release the belts. Well, the belts meet the center, the big black round knob. You twist that knob either way, left or right, it's going to let the belts go. It doesn't matter what way you twist it. It'll let the belts go. Let's see, Thomas. Off your right elbow is the door handle for the door, you see it? No, on the top there. Yeah, that's the main handle. By your ankle is an emergency door handle. Say if the door is jammed, can it be opened with a normal handle? You lift that orange knob up and the whole door is going to fall off the aircraft. Only for emergency. So, Cheryl, the handle I'm touching, you lift that up and the door swings open. So we all know how to open doors here. Fire extinguisher on the floor, right side of my seat, first aid kit. It's not in a cockpit, it's located in the cargo compartment, my side of the aircraft behind us. So we need a first aid kit, we have to exit the cockpit, my side of the aircraft, cargo compartment. Okay, we all have headsets with mics on it. Have your mic in the off position. Once we clear the airport traffic control zone, about 3 minutes of flight, I'll turn the mics on, and I'll let you know the mic been turned on. The mics we have is voice activated. For the mic to work, it's got to be fairly close to your mouth. If you hear every word you say in the headset, the mics are adjusted correctly. If you hear every other word or less than that, the mics might be too far from your mouth or not aligned with your mouth. I would recommend first-time users grab the mic, hold it right next to your mouth, and say what you're going to say. If you hear what you're saying in the headset, we all can hear the same thing. Other than that, just make yourself comfortable. As soon as power gets our clearance, will be on our way. Okay, the boat harbor below us is the shipping center for the island, Willie Boat Harbor. We have 2 deep draft commercial harbors on the island. Now Willie is the main harbor. The other deep draft harbor is Port Allen on the southwest side of the island. Now to the right of the stem of the Olea River is the Olokoko fish pond that will be passing. Olokoko is the official name of the pond. Everybody in the island referred to it as the mini honey fish pond. Many honeys were a race of miniature Polynesians that constructed the pond, raised selected fish, and a pond for the monarchs a long time ago. Aquaculture was a common practice. Okay, mic's been turned on for your information. This is the Kipu Ranch below us. It's owned by the Rice family, founded by William Hyde Rice. They go way back into the wine history of the island, early missionaries. So this side of the ridge is called Kipu. On the ocean side, Kipu Kai. Kipu Kai is owned by the Waterhouse family. It's presently under a trust. Once the last family member of Waterhouse pass away, it'll go into the state of Hawaii. Have you ever seen the movie 6 Days, 7 Nights with Harrison Ford? Well, the beach on the left was one location used to make the movie. That movie at the very beginning showed an airplane making an emergency landing. But that's where the scene was done at, right at the beach there. At the beginning and the end of the movie. They do a lot of filming on the island. South end of the island along the shoreline, left side. Poipu is on that side. Poipu is another designated resort area. That side of the island developed way before the north side. On that side, you have the Hyatt Regency, Sheridan, Waiahai, quite a few other resorts and hotels. The old McBride Sugar Mill we're passing on the left, the building with near the hill, with back in the middle. Been out of service for a long time. Waita Reservoir. There's quite a few reservoirs on the island made by sugar plantations a long time ago to store water to irrigate sugarcane fields. And at one time we only had sugar on the island, but that's all history. Left of the reservoir, the old town of Kauai. The old town of Kauai is where the first successful sugar mill in Hawaii was established at in 1835. Sugarcane became profitable for the island during the Civil War time when labor was practically free. Today we do not have any sugar plantation existing in the state of Hawaii. The last one was shut down about 4 or 5 years ago in Maui, the Puuneni sugar plantation. Just not cost effective to grow sugarcane or pineapple in the state of Hawaii. Picking up a lot cheaper in third world countries. Tree tunnel beneath the nose, made up of the eucalyptus tree. The road goes to the tree tunnel, intersects the main highway on the right side. The main highway comes across the nose, goes to the base of the mountain on the left, and continues along the shoreline to the end of the road. We do not have a road that goes completely around Kauai. On this end is the Polihala State Beach Park. On the north shore, the end is K Beach. That's the other end of the Napali coastline. Where we're headed for, by the way. We are heading for the interior of the island. Once you get interior, we'll be in the mountains and there will be turbulence. So if it gets a little bumpy, very normal, nothing to be concerned about. Tanakala Hill, side of the hill, left side, is the third largest town on the island. Now above the town, top of the hill, is a municipal golf course. Name of the golf course, Kukuilono. Then the dark green fields along the coast left side is coffee. There used to be sugarcane up until 1989. Beyond the coffee fields, Port Allen, the other deep draft commercial harbor on the island, inland of Port Allen, Hanapepe town. Then the fields along the coastline would be abandoned sugar fields, the yellowish green fields. Okay, we will be entering and descending down into the Ana Pepe Valley. 1992, Steven Spielberg and his crews on the island filming the original Jurassic Park movie. Ana Pepe is one of the many locations on the island used to make the movie. If you've ever seen the original movie, Jurassic Park, the beginning part showed a helicopter landing in Jurassic Park next to the falls. Well, this is where the scene was done at. In a few seconds, you will see the Jurassic Park Falls at the bottom of the aircraft on the right next to the river with a pond at the base of it. They have numerous waterfalls besides the Jurassic Park Falls, which is now appearing on the right side. Now, they have numerous waterfalls. So Jurassic Park Falls is right. It'll be on the left shortly. Then on the immediate right, on the slopes of the cliffs, is more waterfalls. Then Jurassic Park Falls left side. The name of the falls is Manawaiopuna. And it'll be on the right here shortly. Now the bright colored trees next to the river and the slopes, those tall light green trees is our state tree called the kukui, and that tree or candlenut. We're going to cross over Kahili waterfalls up front. When we get directly over it, there will be falls on both sides, on the left and right side. Now all this dead-looking trees beneath the rundowns are the results of two hurricanes, Hurricane Iniki, Hurricane Eva. 1992 Hurricane Iniki, a Category 5 hurricane. Winds of up to 2.5 miles an hour at the island. Did a lot of damage to the island. Right now it's hurricane season for Hawaii, and by December, if we didn't get hit with a hurricane, the season's over. At the end of Hanapepe, right side with the clouds, is Mount Waialeale. It's one of the world's wettest points. In 1982, they recorded over 640 inches of rainfall on its summit. That was a record year for Waialeale, and an average for the last 5 years. They've been averaging around 440 inches annually. On the top of Waialeale, on the right, beneath us, in front of us to the shoreline in the shape of a pie, it's known as the Makaweli Aopua. And Aopua is an ancient divisional land from the top of the mountain to the ocean, shape of a pie. This belongs to the Robinson estate. They own 1/4 of the island of Kauai. The land was bought by Elizabeth Sinclair. Bought it from Victoria Kamumalu, the granddaughter of the great King Kamehameha. What she really did is bought stolen land, but nothing to do with it. It was between the monarchs. See, Kamehameha the Great was the king that united all the islands of one rule. This is the only island he never conquered. Made numerous attempts, failed to cross the channel. King on the island, Kamuli and Kamehameha came to a mutual agreement, and they both agreed that the island would fall under Kamehameha's control. When Kamuli passed away, the land would go to his side of the family. Well, Victoria Kamumalu, the granddaughter of the great King Kamehameha, never honored the agreement. Got a little greedy and made a little money off it. Okay, Olakili Canyon, this is still part of the state of the Robinson. No roads, not open to public. At the end of Olakili, Mount Waialeale, widest part of the island. They developed an elaborate irrigation system in Olakili. They take water from the back of Olakili, and through a system of tunnels and ditches, it's taken to the dry side of the island on the left, stored in reservoirs at one time to irrigate sugarcane fields. Today, no sugarcane, but the system is still operating. The water is used to irrigate various agriculture crops. Waimea town and river shoreline on immediate left significance of the town. That is where Captain James Cook made his first landing when he came to the Hawaiian Islands. Cook was looking for the Northwest Passage between the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean for England. Arrived in January 1778, stopping in town for supplies. Initially, when the native Hawaiians spotted Cook's ship on the horizon, happened to be at night, he had his sails up, he had a fire going on. The natives believed that it was the Heiau of Lono. Heiau's the temple. Lono, one of the four major gods. Being they've never seen a ship like Cook's or a white man, they believed that he was the god Lono, treated him as a. Cook returned the following year, stopping on a big island at Kilkukua Bay, Kona side of the big island. He got into a conflict with the natives over there. While he was anchored at Kilkukua Bay repairing his ship, one of the natives stole a skiff off the ship. Cook and a few men went ashore to retrieve it. He attempted to apprehend the king of the island, got into a conflict, and he got killed. Cook was the first European navigator to chart the Hawaiian Islands on a map, initially called it the Sandwich Islands, in honor of the Earl of Sandwich. That was his buddy. See, Cook used Spanish maps to locate the Hawaiian Islands, but it was never recorded, so he got the credit when he did record the islands on a map. The canyon is approximately 10 miles in length, 6.5, 7 miles in width. The public road is in the rim across the canyon at the very top. There's two roads that will bring you to the rim of the canyon shoreline. One in the town of Waimea and the other in the town of Kauai. They're about 5 minutes apart, the two roads. Once it gets to the rim, that's a single road. And it ends in a Cold Cay State Park, just a wooded area on the right above the canyon. In the central part of the state park, they have a restaurant, museum, and a ranger station open daily. Facilities will be closed in the evenings, certain holidays. They got cabins you can rent. Numerous trails. You can hike the perimeter of the canyon. You can hike to the bottom of the canyon, or the Alikai Swamp, or the trails that go to the Napali coastline. It will not take you down to the waterline or the valleys of the trail. It loops back in the state park. As I make a left turn about a mile down the rim, you're going to see a parking lot with the automobiles. It's the first major lookout you come across when you drive through the canyon. Now, beyond the lookout, the red and white tower, that marks the beginning of the Kukui Trail. It's a public trail. It'll take you all the way down to the canyon, to the river. Good luck on the way back up. That's a 3,000-foot climb, straight up. Waipoa Waterfalls on the left. Above the falls on the left, the Bald Ridge is a trail leading to the falls. If you hike the trail, you will not be able to see the full length of the falls. To see the full length of the falls, you're going to have to be in the rim road and across here. So we're going to leave the canyon. We're going to head down to the Pali coastline. The word Pali translated would be cliff. Pali, the cliff. Barking Sands Naval Air Base, right on the shoreline, a cluster of white buildings. Navy, not open to the public. Runway parallel to the coast. If you drive around the perimeter of the island, you'll pass Barking Sands. Beyond Barking Sands is Pali Holly State Beach Park. That is where the road ends, public road. That's where you turn around or spend a day at the beach. It's a beautiful beach. Pali Holly. Now, from the state park, there is no roads that will take you directly to Pali Holly. If you're at the state park and you want to go to Pali Holly, you have to go back down on the rim road to the shoreline and then follow the perimeter of the island. Follow the ravine on the left, the sandy beach is where the road ends. It marks the beginning of the Pali coastline. Now, this half the coast we're parallel, the Pali coast. There's no trails along the borderline. The only way to get on shore on this half is from the ocean. Well, you have to fly in. The Pacific Missile Range Facility, see those white domes? That's the Pacific Missile Satellite Tracking Center. I call it Area 51 of the island Kauai. All that airspace over there is restricted. You need permission to fly through that airspace. They do have launching platforms of the missiles, which is near Barking Sand. The road comes off the rim road, comes down this ridge here we cross, and it goes to the facilities. You have to go through a security check before they let you into the area. It is not open to the public. Okay, we're going to be over the Pali coastline shortly. The Pali coast is controlled by the state of Hawaii, the whole coastline. No one's allowed to live on this coastline. And the state protects one half of the coastline because there's a lot of history. Every valley in this half of the coast at one time was inhabited by the ancient Hawaiians. Okay, once we get over the water, the stretch of beach you're going to see below us on the left side is called Miloli'i. And the reef on the right is called Nua'Lolokai. That's another state beach park that you need a permit to go on shore. There's a lot of activity this time of the year along this coast, boaters and kayakers. As I make the turn on the horizon on the left, Lehua, the little island, no one lives there. Left that is Ni'ihau, the privately owned island owned by the Robinsons, purchased by the Sinclairs, Robinsons' descendants. Stretch of beach as far as you can see is Pali Holly. You go around the point, Barking Sands, Naval Air Base. The cabins at Miloli'i is not for the public. The restrooms are public. The cabin is used by the state of Hawaii, by their people that stays there at night to clean the beach up. Then we have Nua'Lolokai. And the reef beneath us. Again, if you're going to go offshore, you need a permit. quite a long time ago, 1956, 57, when they were on the island making part of the movie. The Pali coastline was once a hiding place for lepers. In 1866, a leper colony was established on the island of Molokai. Molokai is located between Oahu and Maui. And by law at the time, they moved all the lepers throughout the entire Hawaiian kingdom to Molokai. There were a few on the island refused to be relocated. Long story short, the authorities apprehended all the lepers on this coastline and moved them to Molokai. The colony of Molokai today is public. As of 1960, it became public. We're over Hanakapiai Valley. This is the first valley you come across when you walk the trail. It's an hour's hike to the beach on the left. They got a trail that follows the Hanakapiai River, takes you to the falls on the right. Now, if the weather is bad, I wouldn't recommend hiking to the falls. You hike to the falls. When the weather's bad, you get a flash flood, you're not going to get up. Numerous years ago, there were several people attempting to cross the river during the flash flood, became fatalities. A couple of years ago, the fire department with a red helicopter pulled out over 50 stranded hikers off of the Hanakapiai Falls because of the flash flood. You know what's deceiving is all the water in the river comes from the swamp area. So if you have a storm in the swamp area, nice and sunny, you still might have a flash flood. Hanakapiai Beach, right side, 200-300 feet above the waterline cliffs, you can see the trail, 11-mile trail. K Beach at the point, that's where the public road ends, and that's where the head of the trail is at, right at the end of the road. Yeah, viewing the north end of the island. You know, winter's coming around and high surf is coming. It'll take the sand out of Hanakapiai Beach. 90% of the sand's going to disappear. And it'll be rocky for during the winter time. Then before summer, the sand works its way back on the beach. And the cycle's been like that for years. Humpback whales, they're going to start appearing next month. They're right on the island. Now, summertime, they go up to the north end of the world, the Alaskan coastline, Bering Strait feeding grounds. You know, somewhere up there. They return every year to the islands to give birth to the calves that breed. By January of the new year, they've all arrived. And you have whale activity throughout the entire state of Hawaii on every island. Now, at the end of the road at K Beach, you have facilities, showers, restrooms, open on a daily basis. Now, prior to the pandemic, you could spend the nights with permits. So I'm not sure what the policy is right now. But the beach is open to public, I know for sure, during the daytime. There is no private beach in the state of Hawaii. The water line to the vegetation point, it is all public. The private lone island, Niihau, the beaches is public. It's part of the state of Hawaii, and that beach is public. All the parking vehicles at the lot, they got charged a fee to park there. You have to get a permit. See, several years ago, they had a serious weather on this coastline. They had a huge amount of damage to the road. They had landslides. They had bridges that were damaged crossing the rivers. It took a year to repair all that damage. Right after that, they went into this permit system. So now, if you're going to stop along this coastline and park, you need a permit. Now, inland of the beach is the Aina Beach Park, quite a few people there. It's another campsite if you can get a permit. Across the street of that is the Wet and Dry Caves. Then a reef we're about to pass below us called Tunnels. Popular surfing spot for visitors, locals, great for snorkeling. As far down the coastline as you can see where the island off the point is the Kilauea Lighthouse. That's the northernmost point of this island in the state of Hawaii. The lighthouse is right on the point. Now, from the lighthouse along the coast to the right to K Beach, we have the most expensive real estates on the island. Inland of the beach is Wainiha Valley. 1/3 of it is inhabited. You go upstream of Wainiha River, you end up at the base of Waialeale. But when you do have storms, the homes along the Wainiha River, along the bank, do get damaged. Hanalei Bay up front, inland of the bay is the town of Hanalei, and it's got quite a few sailboats. Every year in July, they have this Trans-Pacific sailing race from Long Beach to Honolulu. That race has been going on for over 20 years. But anyway, once the race is over, a lot of the sailors go to the different islands, take a break before their long journey back to California. It's a lot longer sail going back the other way. Now, across the bay along the coast, Prince Hill, and at the mouth on the left, that used to be the St. Regis. They're renovating the building right now. It's going to take more than a year to renovate the building. It was once called the St. Regis, the Hyatt, Sheridan. I have no idea what it's going to be called once the renovation is done. Lumahia Valley, right side. You go upstream, you end up at the base of Waialeale. On the right and on the left is taro patches. Look like rice paddies. They do not grow rice in Hanalei or this coastline. Now, the whole taro plant is edible. The leaves, the stem, the root. Root of the plant is used to make poi. They would boil the root of the plant. Once it's boiled, you can eat it like a potato. Or you can make poi out of it. What they do is mash it up into a paste, add water to it, and result is poi. They do export the poi to the mainland and the plant mainland. Now, inland of Hanalei Town is Motaro. Kauai produces more than 50% of all the taro that is used in the entire state of Hawaii. Most of that is grown right in Hanalei here on the west side. They do have taro on the other side of the island. Not at the level as you see here in Hanalei. Yeah, we're on the north side of the island. You may notice how green it is. All the northeast side of all the Hawaiian Islands is always greener than the opposite side. Like the Waimea Canyon is the opposite side. That's the dry side of the island. And the reason for that, 95% of the year, the trade wind comes from the northeast. So all that moist, dense air from the ocean is blown onshore. Once you get onshore, it creates a lot of rainfall. Orographic effect. That's the main reason why the north and east side of all the Hawaiian Islands is greener than the opposite side. The trade winds. Up front, the north face of Mount Namolokama, 3,000 feet above sea level. I've never seen Namolokama without water. You may notice a lot of markings in the walls of all additional waterfalls that appear at. Not only on the north face, but the hillsides on the right and on the left side. I've never seen Namolokama without water. So when we get to the very end of Honolulu, we're going to cross the ridge that you see at the end. Once we cross the ridge, it'll put us in the Kauai district. That side, they have an opening, and we'll be passing through to get into the crater. But before we do that, we'll take a quick look at some of the waterfalls at the back of Honolulu. All the clouds on the upper right side is below that is the base of Waialeale, Mount Waialeale. Now, when the sugar industry was profitable, the plantations made a tunnel. The river you see directly in front of us, that's where the tunnel started. At that level, it went right through the base of the hill directly in front of us. The other side, it exited on the base on the other side. The tunnel is about 3/4 miles in length, 6 feet high. And the objective was that they took water from Honolulu River, irrigate crops on the other side of the ridge. It's still in existence. The only thing is it's not being maintained now because there's no plantation. Twin Falls, right side. There's a dead human sacrifice under the system that they lived by. In those days, they also were cannibals. When we cross the ridge, we'll be making a right turn, entering the crater, the Waialeale crater. Now the floor of the crater is 2,000 feet above sea level. Now the rim of the crater in the clouds is 5,200 feet above sea level. So you're looking at a 3,200 feet wall from the floor all the way up to the rim. And at the rim is the swamp area, the Alikai swamp. Okay, we're going to be exiting the crater. From here we can see the silhouette of the sleeping giant. The mountain on the shoreline to the left out of the center, the highest point, would be the four-headed giant left out of center, its chin. Arm in its chest, belly, lower left, its knees and foot. It's lying on his back. Now on this side of the giant they have a couple of public trails. The shorter trail to the forehead is about half an hour. The longer trail on this side is about an hour. Now on the ocean side there's a trail. The head of the trail is close to the sea level, so it takes quite a bit of time to get to the head of the sleeping giant from the ocean side. See this hill in right, it's called Kiluhana. It's a miniature crater actually. It's got a crater, a miniature volcano. It's got a crater in the very top. This is obviously a forest beneath us, the flat canopy type of trees. Introduced to Hawaii about 17 years ago. It's very invasive. The state of Hawaii is trying to get rid of it. See, the root system on that tree doesn't go deep into the ground. So when we get the high winds, it'll deroot the whole tree. It doesn't take the tree apart, but it deroots the whole tree. And if it's in a residential area, when that whole tree falls on buildings, it does quite a bit of damage. See this clearing right up here? You know Dwayne Johnson, The Rock? He was on the island about 3 years ago. He was making a couple of movies, one here and one at the mill. But the movie here, they built a city right on the water. The buildings looked like it was from the Orient. Then they removed it after filming. Well, this movie that was filmed beneath us, just been released about a month and a half ago. I think it's called Jungle Cruise. I haven't seen it. And I haven't seen the other movie that was made at the mill. That was released about 2 years ago. Now this used to be all sugarcane field. There's a lot of open fields. They built a power plant on the right. Dark areas, solar panels. Across of that is a holding area for the water for the generators. They were growing corn for about 5-6 months. The community got hold of the collective side, used to grow the corn. Protested, we don't grow corn. You can see the apparatus here on the left used to irrigate the fields. Today they got cattle, various agriculture crops, eucalyptus forests, and quite a bit of vacant land. Tanakapa is on the shoreline on the far left. That's about the second largest town on the island. The largest town is the Hui on the right side. The Kauai Beach Villas. This is another resort. And after that is the Wailu Municipal Golf Course. Once rated top 10 municipal golf course in the United States. Excellent golf course. The highway on the right takes you to the north end. It's the only road that'll take you to the north end. Hanamaulu Beach and Bay, we're going to overfly. To get to the beach, you go to the town of Hanamaulu, which is on a slope to the right. They got a park and a stoplight where the park is at. A road from the stoplight takes you right down to the beach. Okay, this concludes the flight around the island. I would like to thank you for flying with us. When we land at the pad, remain seated. Do not open your doors. Have the ground crew open the doors for you. The ground crew will open the doors and they'll assist in unloading the aircraft. Okay, in the meantime, you can remove your seat belts and your headset.